Coach, Western Michigan coming off a big home win against Ball State. Why don't you share your thoughts on the win, and then we'll talk Mississippi State.
Really proud of our team. Good win, good team win, first conference win versus a MAC West opponent. Really proud of the commitment and buy-in from our players to our coaches, everybody in our football family. Really challenged them last week with continuing to be the same person every single day, trust our process, and believe in what we're doing. And I thought they did a great job of that. I think our coaches did a great job putting together a great game plan, and our players executed at a high level. I think that we had our best performance to date of the season because of our week of prep. We had our best week of preparation during the week. I thought our players really owned the details and discipline each day. I thought it was great preparation, and that showed up on Saturday on game day versus Ball State. I've said that to I said that to them in the locker room after the game, and I've said that even today. There's no surprise that our best performance came because of our best week of prep. So really proud of that. I thought we had great focus, intentional work, really dialed in on the discipline and details, which was excellent to see. Want to thank our fans, students, band, everybody who came out. Another electric atmosphere at Waldo on Saturday. It was a great day, great atmosphere, great weather, and we're undefeated at home, and that's in part due to the competitive advantage that our fans and students have set. Our team and our players feed off of that energy, their enthusiasm and excitement. So I just want to thank them. They were a huge part of that on Saturday. Want to continue to see them there as we move forward in our further home games as we move forward. We've got a great opponent this week. I think the test this week is we've done great at home, we're undefeated at home, but we've got to find a way to be road warriors, face a great team in Mississippi State. There's a great atmosphere there, great environment. This team is veteran and experienced on both sides of the football. They have a lot of senior or elder leadership that's played in a lot of games that lead them on both sides of the football. Coach Arnett does an unbelievable job. It's his first year as head coach. You can really see his thumbprint and signature on this football team. They run to the football. They play hard. They're disciplined, and they're really athletic. So we've got our work cut out for us. But again, it comes down to, can we be consistent? Can our team be consistent in the way that we prepare each day, no matter the circumstance? Can we show up and do the work? Regardless of the result, whether we win, whether we lose, can we have the consistency to show up each and every day just like we did last week?
From the spring and now through his third start, can you just give an insight to the growth that you've seen from Trayson?
Trayson has done a really nice job just getting a little bit better each day. I think he is a great example of what we preach to our team. Went through spring ball, implemented a new offensive system, and he was not pleased where he was at the end of spring, but he continued to work throughout the summer each and every day, showed up, committed to the details, and worked on just getting a little bit better each day. And I think he's done that. Training camp, he was much further ahead than he was in spring football. And then, he's maximized his opportunities, and he's been ready and prepared for his opportunities when he's gotten them. So really proud of him. I think he's done a great job. He had a career day for him, 328 yards, passing. We scored 42 points offensively. We averaged 6.1 yards per play. And that wasn't just him. That was, all the guys around him, from offensive line to receivers, running backs, tight ends. Also thought our coaching staff, Coach Kosh and the offensive staff, did a great job putting him in position to do the things that he does well. And we knew, we can run the football well. We felt like we needed to be able to be balanced with our passing attack, and I thought they did a nice job of that.
He's shown a pretty innate ability to avoid sacks and pressure, kind of the eyes in the back of the head thing. Is that something that you can teach a quarterback, or is it something that they just kind of have to have?
I think it's both. I think there's an innate ability that you're born with to be able to sense the rush, be able to know the time clock going off in your head, and feel rush around you. But I also think that it's something that we work on, we train. We talk about after you hit the depth of your drop, being able to retrace back up into the pocket, and he's done a really nice job of that. He continues to, extend plays with his legs, keeping his eyes downfield. We had a couple of big plays like that on Saturday, which was really nice to see. And then, it's also a trained habit that you work on daily.
Trace and Anthony Sambucci seem to have a pretty good chemistry going on, Coach. Have you seen that developing in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. Booch is one of our leaders, sets example every single day in how he works and how he shows up and prepares. And so really proud of both of those guys. Booch having three touchdown passes in one game was a big performance. But he and Drayson, show up early and stay late working on those things together, really providing that chemistry, and it showed up in a positive way for us on Saturday. And again, to me, it comes back to being able to run the football. When you're able to run the football and we have a physical mindset and mentality, it allows us to do so many things in the pass game and get some one-on-one opportunities. And on Saturday, we were able to take advantage of those and capitalize.
Coming up through the SEC as a player and coach in the SEC with Alabama, what's it like? What's the game day atmosphere in the SEC on Saturday, and in particular at Mississippi State?
I've played and coached several games against Mississippi State, and they're in Starkville. Their fans do a great job creating competitive advantage, kind of like we talked about with our home crowd. I think their players and team feeds off of that energy and enthusiasm. It's a great game day environment, and I think hopefully what we've been through so far this year with some of the road games that we've had, playing in the Dome at Syracuse, pretty loud environment at Iowa, will help prepare us for what we'll see. This will be the loudest and noisiest, environment, rowdiest environment that we've played in. And I told our players, to embrace that challenge and opportunity, because it's an opportunity and one that's exciting. But we have to worry and focus on what we can control, and that's our preparation during the week, our effort, attitude, toughness, and it shows up daily with our discipline.
They're probably the most veteran team you'll face all season. Of their 22 listed starters, 19 of them are graduates or seniors. That presents some problems.
Yeah, they're a veteran, experienced group on both sides of the football. Like you mentioned, they've got a ton of guys who have either graduated or seniors, played in a ton of games. I mean, offensively, they're led by their quarterback, Will Rogers, phenomenal player, has, over 1,000 yards already on the season, can beat you in multiple ways. But he's got great skill players around him. The O-line is big and physical up front, and then one of their best players on offense is Jay Marks, number 7, the running back. I mean, this guy is hard to tackle. We have to do a great job getting him on the ground when we have opportunities and knowing where he's at all times. He does an excellent job in the run game and pass game. And then on defense, they've got several veteran leaders who led by Jet Johnson, leads the team in tackles and interceptions.
Yeah, Johnson he's a tackling machine, and he's in the backfield. He's got interceptions, fumble recoveries. He's kind of almost like a one-man band back there.
Yeah, he really is, but he's not a one-man band. The rest of those guys are pretty fearsome themselves. This team, I think they have 14 sacks in the last 5 games, so they get after the passer. I think the strength is in their front 7 and their ability to create those havoc plays, but they're really talented. They've got speed, they've got athleticism, and they've got length, on the back end with their corners and safeties, and they do a great job covering. Coach Arnett was defense coordinator, before he was the head coach here. He's always done a great job with the defensive schemes. They've always, had great production from a defensive unit standpoint.
Your O-line was asked to move in the run game the first few games of the season, and then all of a sudden, here they are throwing the football 39 times this past game. how did they do in pass blocking this past week?
I thought our offensive line, I think I say it every single week, but they have been our most consistent, most improved group since I've taken the job. Really proud of the work that they've done. Coach Mendelson continues to do a great job with that group, whether it's run game, whether it's pass game, whether it's protections. I mean, we've won different ways, and I think that we showed that. I thought, really proud of our offensive staff putting together, a really good game plan to help us be balanced and better in the pass game. But if you look at all those drop back attempts, we only gave up 1 sack throughout the entirety of that game, and Ball State was really salty up front. So really proud of how they continue to show up and work. And I think that they have a great mindset and mentality in their preparation. It's led by Jake Gideon. He's just old school, tough, hard nosed. Addison West is also a great leader. They show up every single day and set the tone and tempo for that group and for us offensively.
And then this game coming up will be the midway mark of your schedule. Where do you think your team is right now as you go into your final non-conference game before you dial in on the conference the rest of the way?
Hard to believe it's already Game 6. They fly by, and each opportunity is precious and valued. I told our team that actually this morning in our team meeting, and so this is a great opportunity. I would say where we are is not where we want to be. We want to continue to grow, whether we win or lose. Find ways. The positive thing is, I think that from this past game, in the last several games, there's been some positives on each side of the football to continue to build on and gain some confidence, but enough things that we need to continue to work on to grow and improve. And if we have that mentality to just show up and get 1% better each and every day, if we have the discipline and consistency to show up and do the work, I think that we'll continue to get better. I thought this was our best game in terms of complementary football, in all 3 phases, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, really showed up and a great team win.
And then finally, I know you've been dialed in with your team, but the Mid-American Conference has had some nice wins over Power 5 teams. Bowling Green beats Georgia Tech, Northern, I think, beat Boston College, and Ohio beat Iowa State. Those are impressive victories. What's your take on the conference this year?
The MAC conference is a great conference, great coaches, great players, a ton of parity in the league, a lot of one-score games when we get into MACtion and MAC play, but not surprised at all in terms of what the conference has done in their out-of-conference schedule. So proud and excited to be a part of this conference, and I think there's a lot of good football in this conference that's played.
All right, thanks, Coach.